I'm from Paris. I met my wife in Copenhagen. We met each other after a long journey in the best restaurant in the world. And now, we decided to open a bakery in Oakland, California.
Hi, Monique and Paul here. We are the chefs and owners of Tarts de Feybesse here in Oakland. We also specialize in French and Filipino pastries as well as savory items here at the bakery.
Let's go.
Enjoy.
Salut.
I'm here with Paul Feybesse. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. What inspired you to dedicate your life to pastry? What is your why?
So basically, me and my wife, we have a really original journey. So basically, with my wife, during more than 15 years, we work in 3 Michelin star restaurants all over the world. And COVID happened, and COVID completely changed our life. And we started to switch to pastry, to add that to our background. And we decided to use the COVID as an opportunity and open our first bakery in Oakland, California.
Awesome. And had you guys come to the States before COVID happened?
Also, my wife is originally from San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
She's Filipino American, but she's born and raised in San Francisco. And me, I'm born and raised in France, Paris.
What restaurant did you guys
So basically, with my wife, we met in Copenhagen in a 3 Michelin star restaurant. It's called Geranium, who is in the top of a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
So it was perfect to see all the pre-concert,
that's awesome.
like U2, Justin Bieber, Coldplay, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So we met in this restaurant. And,
you were in pastry, I assume.
No, we were in the savory world. What I was saying is during these 15 years, in 3 Michelin star restaurant, we were in the savory world. And we started to switch with the COVID.
Interesting. Take me through some of the restaurants you've worked in overseas, some of these.
So me and my wife, we worked in Paris for a chef called Yannick Aleno, who has 17 Michelin star all over the world. We did his opening in a restaurant called Le Doyen on the Champs-Élysées.
I know it.
And we got 3 Michelin star after 6 months of opening. But before, we worked at Le Meurice, who is one of the oldest palaces in Paris, but we work also in Monaco, Copenhagen, New York, and we finally landed in the Bay Area.
You know, it's funny because I apprenticed under this French pastry chef for 4 years, Alain Ducasse from Brittany, and he's worked in Le Doyen, Louis 15, and among many others. But it's cool to, because he's now, I think, 48. How old are you?
I think I'm 36.
30. Okay. But it's cool to meet someone from kind of like a generation below, like beneath that had those same experiences, because I grew up in a small town, and my really only culinary experience growing up was working with this French pastry chef, and it was like a whole different world than what I was used to. So it's so cool to meet someone who's shared a lot of those same experiences. So what is your favorite pastry that you've ever taken a bite out of?
Different. Are you talking about French, American?
It can be anything.
It's a very good question. It can be back to my grandma, where she was making fantastic crepe in really bad pans.
Yep.
We were like old school. She didn't need the last equipment, and it was amazing.
Did she flambe them or no?
Yeah, exactly. With some
Grenadier
rum.
sauce?
With some rum.
Okay,
some rum.
Okay.
So it was great. Even if we were kids, it was totally fine.
Yeah.
I know in America it will not be possible.
Yeah.
But in France, totally fine. I don't know. It could be, for example, the macaron from Pierre Hermé or our own pastries also, I would say.
Amazing. But among what you guys do here, what are you most proud of?
To be honest, we are proud of everything because we really think we're doing a good job and the team is doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And we are really proud of everything, to be honest. We just try to push ourselves a little bit every day to make ourselves better.
Okay. And, you know, it's interesting. When I walked in here, the first thing I thought of, because of social media, was the name Cedric Goulet. You know Cedric Goulet.
But so
I want to ask you because he's gotten so popular because of social media. And I mean, in a sense, you guys do exactly what he does. I think he charges like €40 or 20 or 40 euro a single one. But I mean, there's so much labor that goes into them. But social media, how has that affected Pastry?
So social media for us.
He also trained under Ducasse as well, right?
Yes. For example, I'm going to start with the social media. The social media for us is a tool.
Okay.
So we use it as a tool. So as a communication tool. So we use it for the different platform, and we try to develop our own communication instead of paying PR, really expensive PR, who don't always bring us a huge value. So we kind of do it by ourselves, and it works pretty good.
I think that pays off more at the end of the day than
in terms of financially, yes. To be honest, it's more interesting like that for sure. And second point, you were talking about Cédric Grolet, but basically, to be honest with you, Cédric Grolet created what we call the trompe-l'œil. So, for example, trompe-l'œil means optical illusion in French, and the fruit, like the real fruit, or the nuts looks like the real nut. He created that.
So he started
that, and he created the trend.
Okay.
He was really the first one to bring that also on social media. So to be honest, it's like, tomorrow I'm gonna make a new cookie. I was not the one who created the cookie, but maybe I'm gonna make it better or in a different and original way. That's what it is. He created that. We are just bringing our own sensibility and creativity to that. Okay.
So when you say you bring in French and Filipino twist into this American culture within this patisserie, obviously you can see the French part is very evident. In what areas do you bring in that Filipino twist?
So, for example, sometimes it's going to be really as a traditional way, like we're going to really sublime the Filipino recipe, and sometimes we give him a French and American twist. Like, for example, for traditional way, we make a dessert that I really love. It's called bico. It's like a sticky rice cooked in coconut milk and topped and caramelized in the oven with palm sugar. It's like so simple, so good. I love it. You can eat it warm, room temp, or cold. It will make your day. So for the traditional part, we can do something like that. Or for example, something a little bit twisted, we can make a cassava cake. So cassava, it's a roots from Southeast Asia, and we're gonna make a cake from it and introduce it inside a viennoiserie, a croissant dough. So it will be like kind of like a French Filipino American twist.
Oh my god! Sounds fantastic.
Voilà.
What is the greatest lesson your mother or father ever taught you?
Hard work. So basically, I'm coming from a family where we were middle class, I will say, but we were me and my father were always working together as a kid. Even during my day off, I had to help my father. He had like a eating company in Paris. So basically, my father always told me to work really hard. That's the best lesson he gave me. Is to work really hard to obtain what you can.
pivoting a little bit here, what is the greatest advice any chef has ever given you? And who was that chef?
Don't take anything for granted. And the day you think you're good, you're gonna start to be bad.
Yeah.
So always try to improve yourself as a person and for your business.
That sounds like something I just literally read Alain Ducasse's latest book called Good Taste.
Yes.
And that's something literally that was like probably the biggest takeaway I got from him. Always innovating, always learning, always improving. Because once you get complacent, I mean, everything, there's always going to be someone that is trying to improve and work harder. So you guys were in savory beforehand, working in these wonderful restaurants. Laminating doughs is one thing, but I mean, there's so much hard work that goes into, like, at least what it looks like in these really intricate pastries you guys have. Well, how did you? What was the process like?
So basically, my wife was a chef de cuisine in a really good restaurant in the Bay Area, and I was a part of the coach team for the USA Bocuse d'Or.
Okay.
COVID happened, the USA team got shut down. So 2 weeks after I just started, they shut down the team. And you know, at the beginning of COVID, everybody was freaking out.
Yeah.
Everybody shut down. We didn't know what to expect. So it was really complicated to see your future. And so basically we got laid off with my wife. And in America, I will say after 2-3 weeks, when people bought all the pasta and the rice in grocery store, only the vegetable section were still full. Yeah. And people didn't know what to cook after those 2 or 3 weeks already. And the delivery company didn't exist or was not as developed at that time, especially at the beginning of COVID. They started to boom.
Okay.
During COVID, but not at the beginning. So basically I was just cooking really good food for my kids because I got laid off, for my 2 kids because I had 2 boys at that time. And my beautiful wife started to put pictures on social media. Yeah. And me, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, just let me cook and stuff like that. And people started to DM us. Yeah. For delivery and to get that in their own house. Wow. So everything started like that. So we started to make bread in my house, sourdough, pastry, like a catering company. So basically we started like that.
Okay, got it. From there, how'd you end up here?
After 2 years of saving and hard work, we wanted to open our first pastry shop because we were considering that it was not the perfect time to open a restaurant, especially financially. So we wanted to open a really fine pastry shop and bakery. And at the beginning, we were supposed to open in San Francisco, but we got contacted by your actual landlord. It's called Oakland, and they made us visit the space. We fell in love with the space, and we started to open in the heart of Oakland and in the Bay Area. Okay,
awesome. And then let me ask you this: what goes into you take? I don't know. Strawberry, mango, apple, raspberry, coconut, what goes into the intricate details of creating that shell, the filling, and the paint on the outside?
So the most complicated is to really look like the real fruit. Yeah. So you need to have the technique, the creativity, and after that you need to train the team to do it. That's the hardest thing, is to train the team to reproduce it, to produce it.
Okay. When you're not baking, what do you go to for inspiration? Food-wise or anything?
So me and my family always go to restaurant to eat new stuff, any kind of cooking style. We love Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Italian, Asian. I love Moroccan cuisine. Okay. So the inspiration can come from anywhere, to be honest.
And what's your favorite restaurant in the area here and or in the US that you've been to?
Okay, so My mindset over the year kind of changed. Before I was really into fine dining and really looking only for this kind of restaurant. And to be honest now, it is really not anymore my mindset. I look at, I really love like restaurant, like Rich Table in San Francisco. Like I will say, really the focus on the flavor, the seasonality, stuff like that. I really like also Sanowan. It's a Korean restaurant in San Francisco. It's probably one of my best restaurants. I love it. It's from my old chef Cory Lee, who has 3 Michelin stars in Benu, also in San Francisco, with American, Korean American. And for example, I also like a really dim sum place in the Bay called Koi Palace. I really love it. And like I said, after I went to France 2 years ago in the countryside in south of France. It was a crazy restaurant. I didn't even know the name. No Michelin star, no recognition, nothing of that. It didn't have even floor, but they had a cheminée. They were cooking the rabbit à la broche. It was totally amazing. It was crazy. You thought you were in the 60s and it completely blew my mind. And it was cheap. It was good. So to be honest, over the year, my mindset really changed. I'm just looking for hospitality, good food and good time with my family.
Love it. What's the next steps for Tarts de Feybesse?
Many things can happen.
How long have you guys been open?
So we've been open only for 11 months.
Oh wow.
Yes, and so we are really happy about the level we have right now already, and we just really want to consolidate this location to improve the quality, always improve the quality, and after we will think about different location or restaurant, because we have with our different background, we can do both. So we can still think about that, but it will come later.
Okay. And then what's the best piece of advice you could give a rising chef? A young chef? Yes.
Just put your heads down, just work really hard, stop complaining, and wake up.
Love it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.